Hello everyone, my name is Med Scorpion and welcome back to another week in Destiny. With the Tuesday reset, there's not much exactly happening per se, but there's a few things to still make account for. Now, checking in on the major update that you would have been blasted with once you logged in. If you head to the Dreamy City on Astral alignment, there is difficulty modifiers. The Legend mode has launched. Now, this is quite comparable to, if you were around during the season, Heroic Menagerie, back during Season of Opulence. Now, this does have pretty much the same setup for champions, just depending. I think it's only gonna be taken, maybe, although there was a modifier that suggested so, but it's not present now. Now, the way this works is going to be equip and lock, match game, empath. Now, there is a thing that they did not mention. There is, I believe, extinguish, where if your whole fire team falls, you do go back to orbit. So, they mentioned it in the TWAB, but it's not present in any of the modifiers. But, yeah, that is essentially it. There's enhanced melee damage, scorched earth for more grenades, match game, equipment lock, and, unstoppable overload. It's still going to run as usual Astral alignment, but it is a 6-player match-made activity, so unless you are some of the best, I would recommend you actually get 6 people for that. At least just for a triumph. There is somehow you haven't gotten the Agger's Catalyst to drop for you, there is a better chance of spawning it from that because there is an extra chest in that mode, which will give you extra chances for the Catalyst itself. But if you don't have the Scepter Catalyst yet, but you are tired of grinding basic Astral, I'd recommend you at least get a few farming people together who also don't have it to go for that. Now, in terms of the world, roaming about, checking for our updates, it is Exodus Crash for our Grandmaster this week. The modifiers being, at the start, Arachno for Fallen Vandal spawning Arc Mines, Unstoppable Barrier loadout with no radar, and the usual Grandmaster modifiers for Match Game, Equipment Lock, Extinguish, Limited Revives, and Mob Champions. But, of course, Thavix's Implant, incoming arc and environmental damage is increased. So I definitely recommend double arc resistance for people in this, just because it's also fallen. A lot of their primary weapons are just generally arc, if you want to take a stab at that. Now, aside from that, it is Shadow Price and Comedian this week for our weapons, and moving about throughout. We have Showdown for our Crucible Rotator match, which, speaking of Crucible, I had some good luck with the weekend because I actually managed to get well, I did get Messenger Adept because I managed to go flawless, but I didn't get any good rolls, so rip to that. As well as the fact there's nothing new in Gambit because still boo Gambit. But moving into the raid section for Vault of Glass, we have the Master Mode, we have Hezen Vengeance, as well as Discipline-focused armor for our challenge, and as well it is Strangers in Time. That is the Gatekeeper challenge, which you have to kill the Wyvern and the Praetorian at the exact same time, which exact being around the same time, and if you do the challenge mode on Master, you get a time lost Hezen Vengeance. And speaking of raids, I actually stuck it out yesterday, and actually managed to get a time lost Fatebringer. I didn't get a good roll on the random rolls, but Explosive Firefly is still there. Got good bag and barrel perks anyway. So good to that. But continuing with the raids, I kind of forgot this last week, but checking the moon, what challenge it is, we have To the Top challenge. Now, I forget what that is. I think that's Harpy, actually, for Harpy boss, where you have to get 30 motes to bank every single time. I don't quote me on that, but it is To the Top challenge, if you remember what that one is. Moving to Europa as well, for our raid challenge, we have Red Rover, that's security challenge, where 2 people have to be in every person has to participate in the Red Room burning section. So basically, it's going to be a 4-6 run. If you want a better explanation, I would go elsewhere for it. It's harder to explain quickly. And as well, Eventide Ruins of Eclipse Zone with the Dark Priestess Empire Hunt for the Weekly Master for Pinnacles, as well as the Survival Exo Simulation, which is basically Cold Freezy, if you don't remember what it is. Now, moving into the tower again, Festival Lost is still going on strong. It is week 2 of 3. I don't think there's any quest updates or anything. The book did not expand. I believe this is the grind you'll have to go for as long as the event's still going on. But of course, you still have to make efforts to it. Now, I will address something else for Festival Lost in my Eververse video, but checking Banshee. For our weapons, we have the 7th Seraph Revolver, Ambitious Assassin Multi-Kill Clip. Now, considering how many bullets these things hold, Ambitious Assassin is a pretty good option, because I think you can get up to 21 rounds, somewhere around the level of Malfeasance in the rounds that it can hold. In addition, multi-kill clip, just because the more rounds you have, the more things you're killing, and as well as stability. And appendage mag for just plain more bullets, as well as hammer forged. This actually isn't a terrible one if you are looking to get a good weapon for Warmind cells. Now, Toil and Trouble, full auto moving target, so it's not the greatest rolls, and only light mag and tac mag. This does give you speed and mag, that gives you slightly speed and range, and it is a range match to work with full choke, which, you know, isn't the greatest, but it's still an option. Now, for Wishbringer, Pulse Monitor, and Moving Target, this might be a Crucible roll, but don't use it for PvE, honestly. There's no good perks there, really. Gnawing Hunger, though, this one's rated pretty well on Light.gg. I took a peek at work. It's got Polymer Barrel for a little more better stability. That's better than Arrowhead because that's just stability. Accurized rounds, tap the trigger, Rampage. It's honestly solid. There's better rolls, but still, that's a good one. Now, this one's a near God roll for Bad Omens because Field Prep is a God tier perk. It's very underappreciated, considering that that made a Zenobia D, actually, if I can peek it in the vault, forever ago, back when Rocketing Riven was the way to kill her, if you just wanted to do it quickly. Let's see if I can find it. Ah, here we go. This Zenobia D, just because most rocket launchers function on the same model of damage regardless of their frame, this was the damage king, because with field prep and a rocket reserves cloak on my hunter, I managed to not only hold 9 rockets, but I could, without a Lunafaction Rift, reload faster than anyone just because I was crouching, and because of impact casing, it did extra damage, and of course, cluster bombs. But aside from memory lane, that Bad Omens is a pretty good option to pick up if you just want a straight up damage rocket launcher. And for Tarantula, it's a field prep Rampage. Field prep, good. Rampage, not so much, unless you're just doing ad clearing. But in this season, where linear fusions are the kings of damage, I wouldn't recommend ad clear. I would recommend this for damage. Full bore is a good option there too, just because stability handling isn't really a desired perk. Same with range. Now, that was everything with Banshee. Now, something I kind of forgot. I can't believe I almost forgot this. New challenges this week. So they are winding down through the week. Now, it is into week 9. I'm not sure if they're going to extend the week of how many, just because of how many seasons there are. But starting off, Astral Assault, defeating combatants with auto rifles and melee attacks, as well as defeating combatants in Astral Alignment activity. Man, they're really trying to get us to play Astral Alignment this, last few weeks. As well, Legend Leyliner, which is complete the Astral Alignment activity at Legend difficulty. Both of these give you Wayfinder's Compass levels. Now, this one's kind of a returning challenge, and I'm not sure how this works in terms of drops/rewards, but Trials by Firing Squad, win multiple rounds in the Trials of Osiris. If you actually manage to win 20, even if it's across 20 games, only winning once, if you either win 4 straight games or win 20 rounds worth, you'll get a free Trials of Osiris weapon for your troubles. I definitely don't think it'll be Adept, even if you have that in your collections, but, you know, a good roll on any good Trials weapon will definitely serve you better than a shitty roll on an Adept. Now, Elemental Gambit, that's just for completing Gambit matches with each Elemental subclass. I could have sworn that's a recycled one. As well, it counts Solar and Stasis in the same one this time, so you could pick those two, so you only have to run 6. Now, I'm sure that's just for the people that don't own Beyond Light and don't have access to Stasis. Now, for Armory-wide calibration, basically kill anything, anywhere in the world with kinetic energy and power weapons, bonus progress against champions. As well, Elemental Splicing, complete strikes as each Elemental subclass. I think they might have forgot to change a name on that, just because it's referred to as Splicing. Now, that also rewards you with the shader, the Plated Lupinus, which, correct me if I'm wrong, Zavala, but don't you earn that from ranking up Vanguard anyways? I am confusion. Yeah, you earned that from... Okay, so if you don't want to go through the grind of ranking up strikes, yeah, you can just run 6 strikes as different subclasses to rank up your... or get that challenge done. You can earn that shader for free, because they kind of forgot in the way this works. You don't need to earn it in numbers. You just need to earn it once. Now, it's time to visit Ada to see our armor rolls, which I'm going to spoil it right off the bat. Titans had the best. I did, like I said, I took a peek at Light.gg. Titans had the straight up best. I might as well just blow through and see each of these to show you what each are. Now, Titans have the best ranking at 56 rolls at top out. So we have a 56 roll high spike of discipline intellect with higher spikes mobility resilience. And then we have another 56 higher spike intellect, low spike discipline. And of course, class item 55 at high discipline recovery. And then a 56 at mobility strength. So this is probably some of the most solid, well-rolled armors I've seen just in general for Titans. And every other class after this is just worse, so I might as well just blow through those two. And does my Warlock look a little weird with the trike headgear just because of how slim armored my Frankenstein Warlock is? But ignoring that, for Warlock armor at Ada, it is a 51 roll, well-rounded 53 roll, slightly less well-rounded at 53, and then we have helmet at a high spike of discipline and a pair of boots at 50 higher spike strength, which just to serve or cut off the neck of the snake. Time to head to the hunter. All right, and while I'm at Transmog Lead, I need to point something out for the Bungie developers for cloaks. So you see the raptor headgear, you see how it's got this nice little skeletal raptor and the little one in the raptor claw. I need to talk with the Bungie shader team just because there's so many shaders out there that I can put it on and it's so obvious like in that because it's black and white inverse. But then I put on something like, let's see, I think it was this one that oh, wait, hang on. It's one of these newer shaders like that. That is almost not visible at all. And I've had a few shaders like towards higher on the list like that. It just completely disappears. Like, I am genuinely looking for it. I can't see it at all just because the cloak is a solid color. The fangs might look cool, but at the same point, the whole thing of this cloak that I like is that little raptor on the back. Because, you know, it's still a cloak. There are some that it just doesn't show at all. And it's really disappointing when a really cool detail goes away like that just because of the shader it's on. And they need to balance out the shader systems a little bit. If they have details like this, they need to work on that. But aside from my anger over fashion, the Icarus Drifter set a 52 high resilience strength, a 50 roll well-rounded, a 49 roll kind of randomly spiked, and a 50 roll high resilience. So Titans have the best armor, but that's about all that can really be said about it. Like I said, Festival Week 2 is still going strong. If you haven't gotten your Jurassic Greens or your Horror Stories or your Werewolves, I would definitely recommend you pick them up because they might have some good rolls that are actually tearing stuff up. Jurassic Green, it might not be the best pulse rifle in that archetype, but it's still doing solid, and Vertical Frames supposedly got a hidden buff somewhere that people weren't paying attention to and are now shredding. Now, hopefully you can get some good luck this week with Trials. I think we'll start to see random weapons, so I might redo the rotation, but aside from things to speculate on, this has been The Reset, and my name is the Mad Scorpion, and thank you for watching.